This book stands off a fall by its author. Attitude toward its subject is the best way to teach oneself or others. To speak effectively in public is to fill the mind with rules and to set up a fixed standard for the interpretation of thought, the utterance of language, the making of gestures, and all the rest, then this book will be limited in value into such ideas thought out its page as many prove helpful to the reader as an effort to enforce a group of principle. It must be reckoned a failure because it is then it is some important therefore to those who take up the volume with open mind that they should see clearly at the out how to start what is the thought that at once underlies and is filtered throughout these structures in a plain words. It's in the training in public speaking is not a matter of external primarily. It is not a matter of emission fundamentally. It is not a matter of conformity to a standard at the all. Or public speaking is the public utterance, public uses of the man himself. Therefore, the first things both in time and in importance important that the man should be and think and feel things that are worthy of being give forth unless there be something of value within. No strike of training can ever make of the talker anything more than a machine, albeit a highly perfected machine for the delivery of the other man's good. So, self-development is the fundamental in our plan. The second principle lies close to the first. The man must enthrone his will to rule over his thought, his feeling, and all his physical power, so that the outer self may give a perfect unhappened explanation to the inner. It is a futile of asset to lay down a system of rules for voice culture in intonation, gestures, and what not. Only the two principles of having something to say and making the will sovereign have a least begun to make themselves felt in the life. The third principle will be summarized aroused no dispute. No one can learn how to speak who does not first speak as the best he can. That may seem like a vicious circles in a statement, but it will wear a examination. May teacher have begun with the how, when effort it is an ancient truism that we learn to do by doing the first things for the beginner. In public speaking is to speak, not to study voice and gestures and the rest. Once he has spoken, he can improve himself for himself by self observation or according to the criticism of those who we hear. But how so? shall be able to criticize himself simply by finding our three things. What are the quality which by common concept to give a make effective speaker by what means at least some of these qualities may be acquired, and what wrong habit of speech in himself work against his acquiring and using the quality which he find to be good things to think of first. The art of public speaking. Chapter 1. Acquiring confidence before an audience. There is the strange sensations of an experience in the presence of an audience. It may proceed from the gaze of many eyes that turn upon the speaker, especially if he permits himself to instantly return that gaze. Most speakers have been conscious of this in a nameless thrill, a real something providing the almost tangible, evanescent, indescribable. All the writers have borne testimony to the power of a speaker eye in a embracing an audience. This influence which we are now considering is the reverse of that picture. The power their eyes may exert upon him, especially before he began to speak after the inward fires of orator are fanned into a flame. The eye of the audience lost all predator. William Pittenger, extempore and speech. A student of public speaking continually asks, "How can I overcome self-consciousness and the fear that paralyzed me before an audience? Did you ever notice in looking from a train window that some horses feed near the track and never even pause to look up at the thundering cars will just ahead at the next railroad crossing? A farmer wife will be nervously trying to quiet her scared hours horse as the train goes by. And today I will discuss day 6 of English speaking practice. Now, my friend, I will discuss the in interesting things to will learn in public speaking and English speaking combination of two things to 40 minutes to be I will 40 minutes I will discuss 20 minutes practice in English speaking in speaking in book reading, and now the 20 minutes it the one topic pick and one topic to be speak and learn and something teach for another person in public speaking and English speaking are combination this video. How will you cure a horse that is afraid of cars? Graze him a backwards lot where he will never see a steam engine or automobiles or drive or pasture him where he would frequently see the machine. Apply horse sense to riding yourself of self-consciousness and fear. Face an audience as frequently as you can, and you will soon stop saying you are never attain freedom from a stage fight by reading a thesis. A book may give you excellent suggestion on how best to conduct yourself in the water, but sooner or later you must get wet. Happens even a stranger and be half scared to death. There are a great many weightless bathing suits worn at the seashore, but now one even learns to swim in them. To plug is the not only way. Practice practice and practice. Speaking before an audience will tend to remove all fears of audience just as a practice in swimming will lead to confidence and facility in the water. You must learn to speak by speaking the obstacle. Paul tells us that every man must work on his own celebration. All we can do here is to offer you suggestion as to how best to prepare for your vlog. The real vlog no one can take for you. A doctor may prescribe, but you must take the medicine. Do not be this hatred. If the first you suffer from a stage fight, then pitch was more susceptible to suffering than a submitted dray horses will be. It never hurts a fool to appear before an audience, for his capacity is not a capacity for fulfilling. A flow that will be killed. Kill a civilized man stones hills on a savage. The higher we go in the scale of life, the greater is the capacity for a suffering. For one reason or another, some master speaker never entirely overcome a stage fight, but it will pay you to spare no pens, no cure. It denied Webster fell in his first appearance and had to take his seat without finishing his speech because he was nervous. Gladstone was often too troubled with a self-consciousness in the beginning of ad. Acquiring confidence before an audience, dress Beecher was always perturbed before talking in public. Blacksmith sometimes twist a rope tight around the nose of horse, and by the thus implicitly a little pain they distract his attention from the sewing process one may to get air out of a glass is the pour of in water be absorbed by your subject. Apply to blacksmith homely principle when you are speaking. If you feel deeply about your subject, you will be able to think of little else. Concentration is a process of distraction from less important matters. It is too late to think about the cut of your coat when once you are open to platform. So center your interest on what you are about to say. Fill your minds with your speech materials like the in filling water in the glass. It will drive out your unsubstantial fears. Self-consciousness is the undue consciousness of self, and for the purpose of delivery the self secondary to your subject, not only in the opinion of the audience, but if you are wise in your own. Behold any other view to is regard yourself as an exhibit instead for as a messenger with a message worth delivering. Do you remember Albert Harvard trimmed Donnie's little tract? A message to Gracia Garcia of the youth subordinated himself to the message he wore. You, by all the determination you can most it's your egoist to fill your mind with the thought of self when a greater things is the truth. Say this yourself externally and same your self consciousness into a consciousness in the theater, caught or fire, you could rush to the stage and shout direction to the audience. without any self consciousness for the importance of what you were saying will drive all the fear thought out of your mind for force than self consciousness thought the fear of doing poorly. It is self consciousness thought a assumptions of doing well. The first sign of greatness is when a man does not attempt to look at the act great before you can call yourself a man at all. Keep lying assures us you must not look too good nor talk too biz. Nothing advertised itself so thoughtfully as a concept one may be so full of self as to be empty. Voltaire said we must counsel self-serve, but that can not be done. Even though this to be true is recognized overwearing self-love in other. If you have it, others are seeing in you. There are things in the world bigger than self and in working for themselves they will be forgotten of what is better remembered only so as a help us the win toward higher things have something in say. Now my friend, today this section is only speaking in English and day 2 day 6 is completed. Now I will create a some sorts for public speaking to introduce our. I will try to learn something new in this day. Today is very interesting day. I will try to learn in efficiently have a something to say. The trouble this book I have a multiple book to be I learn to introduce our session to be continued, and this is the session of day 2 of the and hesitation day 2 at the office in the interior of our his life in the worth of the self to be learned. Today I will be discussing the to be learned in I eat apple, eat apple. This is the one of the biggest things to be I will learn. The one thing to be will never be forgotten in the character. And today I will learn Jit Apki book and written by Shiv Khera. He said our degree is not important, skills is not important, but your character is important. Your character is very important for our life journey, because you're doing something to will be learned. And this the day with the help of the introducing to control your observation power. Now we all the learning and the sequential parts of this season, acquiring confidence before an audience. In this chapter, preparation of previous knowledge of your subject, you ought to be self-consciousness. You are ought to be assumed to steal the time of your audience. Prepare yourself now what you are going to talk about and in a journal how you are going to say it. Have the first few sentences worked out completely so that you may not be troubled in the beginning to find words. No, now your subject better than your hearers no it and you have nothing to fear. After preparing for success, accept it.